This is Professor Moricone, clinical lecturer at Iona University in New Rochelle, New York, from the biology department in the Division of Arts and Sciences. Today, I welcome Andrew Miller, who is a recent graduate of May 2024 from Iona University. Andrew, thanks for taking a little time out today to get everyone familiar with you.
Thanks
So,
for having me.
all right, you're welcome. It's a pleasure. I try to do this every once in a while to get prospective students and current students familiar with what our students have done in the past and what they are currently doing. So maybe you could start with a little bit about what attracted you to Iona when you first were applying to colleges and universities. I know you were an athlete, and that definitely played a role with it. But if we put that aside, what was the thing that really told you that I should come to Iona?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, being an athlete was a huge aspect towards attracting me to Iona, but another big aspect was I'm from Houston, Texas, so I had never really experienced. Um, I'm in a more rural area of Houston, Texas, so I'd never really experienced like the big city life. So the concept of being so close to New York City was a huge aspect for me. And then I also sat down with my high school like guidance counselors and everything, and I was interested in pursuing a career in medicine. So once we figured out that my career path could work, going through Iona, getting my degree in something science related, and then applying to grad school. That was one of the big things, just the fact that y'all are so close to New York, and then also the fact that your degree plan fit perfectly with what I wanted to do when I graduated.
Okay, and those are important aspects. I know a lot of student athletes or prospective student athletes might be watching this, and um, you know, it's good to hear that perspective, right? Because some student athletes may just focus on, well, the student athlete part and not the educational part and the program that makes it fit and work together. So how about, because I want to lead up to current day, all right, which is going to be my big question at the end here. Being in the biology department and having taught anatomy and physiology. So just if you could briefly describe some of the courses you took and what your major ended up being.
Yeah, so I was originally a bio major with a concentration on physical therapy, which is basically I would just get my degree in biology and then I would take classes specific towards um classes that would specifically help me when it came to applying to PT school. Um, as I progressed throughout my years at Iona, I changed my degree from bio with a PT concentration to interdisciplinary sciences. Um, towards about my junior year, I sat down with some physical therapists that I knew in my life, and I was looking at what I needed in order to get into physical therapy school. And I felt that the interdisciplinary sciences degree just fit my needs more. So that's why I switched to interdisciplinary sciences. I still basically took all of the same classes that a bio major would take. So like I took all Gen Chem, bio, physics. I took a bunch of upper level biology classes. Like I took cell bio, I took microbio, I took evolution, and then I took um, at Iona, I took both levels of anatomy and physiology.
But yeah, which got me familiar with you. So which leads me to one of my next questions, which other than me, because we don't want to, you know, be too partial. Who might you say one of your favorite instructors was at Iona? Because that's important for students to come in knowing that, hey, I hear a certain professor is good. So maybe not necessarily maybe a favorite, but like maybe a favorite and somebody else you thought was really good.
Yeah, I really gravitated toward Dr. Briscoe whenever it came to him teaching physics whenever I was there. I just really enjoyed his teaching style. Another professor was my evolution professor, Dr. Andrick. She's just so open to being helpful. And anytime, especially with my schedule as a student athlete, she was so open to helping me navigate my senior year while also making sure that I get my coursework done and leave the course a more developed student.
Okay, great. That's I'll make sure Professor Andrick definitely gets to watch this. So coming up to present day, you were in my A and P class. You were in the upper level A and P class, and your concentration became physical therapy. And you're at which school now for physical therapy?
I'm pursuing my doctorate in physical therapy at the University of Columbia at the medical, like the Irving Medical Center.
Okay. So you took undergraduate A&P course, and this is my home run question because I really want current students in the biology department and who are considering PT as a career. How would you compare your undergraduate uh, A&P courses to your graduate A&P course that you already had one semester of?
hmm so I would definitely say that my undergraduate anatomy and physiology classes set me up for success with my graduate level anatomy and physiology. The only big difference was in undergrad we had anatomy and physiology, and in grad school they break it up into you have um, classes like applied exercise physiology and neuroscience, and then you have gross anatomy, where it's like we had like one chapter or like two chapters that were really in depth on like the big anatomy concepts in undergrad. And then everything else was also there was like physiology built into it. But I would say graduate level gross anatomy was definitely a beast. It was a 7 level course. I mean a 7 credit course. So it was just we would learn like in undergrad, we learned what all the muscles were and some basic functions behind some of them. But in the graduate level anatomy, we would have to learn every single muscle, every single insertion, innervations, which I didn't realize was so important until I got here. And then actions of every single muscle in the body, which was a because like in undergrad we focused on like specific muscles that were like big picture and important, whereas in grad school you go through literally every single aspect of anatomy. And obviously I don't think there's going to be a undergrad anatomy and physiology class that's going to really set you up perfectly for how just because of how much information it is in grad school anatomy. But I definitely feel like I walked in more prepared than most of my classmates.
Okay, because sometimes you hear about, students not wanting to take, A and P courses at the undergraduate level. So, if there was one thing, if I'm a prospective PT uh, students student, what would you say like to me about my undergraduate A and P?
I would 100% say that you should definitely focus on um, I would say you focus on the muscles because and the bones because I didn't realize the first time around how important the bones were until I got here because every muscle is only so functional without the units it's connected to and then like the units that innervate it. But I would definitely say if you're interested in physical therapy, the big things are muscles and then nerves. So if you can get a good grasp on those two concepts, it'll make your life a lot easier.
Right? Not just knowing, what they are in the names, but how they work.
hmm
Yeah. Um, so what was the application process like for you for physical therapy? Because you made a really, smooth transition from undergrad to graduate work, just graduating, some students take a gap year and so on. But maybe you could tell those interested students about, what the application process is like.
Yeah, so luckily the physical therapy world you use it's like a generalized application program. I think it's called PTCSA, which is basically you upload all of your information into this site and it has every single accredited physical therapy program in the nation. And then you can just go down and like for instance, I obviously applied to more than one school, but like for instance, I'll use Columbia and then I also applied to NYU. So for those schools, they were both showed up on the list of schools and the PTCSA website had like a bunch of my like regular information, like my transcripts, my grades, my rec letters, that kind of stuff. And then I would apply to that specific school. And if that application required information that wasn't in that general amount of information, you can then upload it through that system. It's pretty easy to navigate. You just got to make sure that you put everything in before the deadline.
So no kind of entrance exam or anything like that. Just apply transcript based, good grades, good references, good recommendations, and you get accepted to a lot of places, I guess.
Yeah, some schools will have like specific prereqs. So like most most PT programs, they'll require you to take anatomy and physiology, um, biochem, and then I think it's physics and statistics. But besides that, like specific schools will require you to take the GRE, which is like basically it's like the SAT for college. It's just proving that you like learned stuff while you were in college. It's mainly like math and grammar, but I had to take the GRE to get into Columbia, but I didn't have to take the GRE to get into say like Binghamton.
Gotcha. Okay, so definitely pay attention to what your prereqs are and what's required, so you could manage your time in order to get in. Um, I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll probably be in touch with you again once you graduate to see how you made out. And once again, thank you, Andrew, for stopping in today. I appreciate it, and Iona University uh, as an alum appreciates it. So I'll see you soon.
Of course, thanks for having me.
All righty. You're welcome.